Hey everybody, just out here on my crazy urban street, trying to find some peace and quiet to shoot a quick little video. Wanted to show you guys my garden. So all this area along there was dirt for years, and then COVID came and I was bored, so I started like with this area. You can kind of see like there's a little line there where it used to go. So this was all just dirt. And I started taking cuttings from my own pots and then from around the neighborhood, and slowly putting cuttings in, and a couple more every day, and a couple more every day, and a couple more every day, and a couple more every day. And you can see how it expanded here. And recently I started taking over this section. This was failed lawn. You can see that there's too much water here, and there's not enough light for this lawn. So I just slowly been kind of taking it over. I made this ring out of rocks the other day. Mostly rocks I found around the building. But really just to show you like just some persistence, planting seeds. We talked the last time about placing stones, one stone at a time. So I did it kind of just one plant at a time, and ended up building it to a pretty impressive situation. You can see it right there. Boom, boom. So all this is dirt. All this is sort of just neglected lawn. Every spring they would or winter they'd try and replant the grass and it would just die again. So I was like, you know what? Power moves. You can see I like to use the red mulch. It just sort of makes everything pop. It'll fade pretty quickly here. Even in the shade in California, this stuff will fade. But for now it's super fun. Every once in a while I rejuice the thing. But really, there's a couple things going on here. What this does is it gives me control, some sense of control, some sense of order. Like in the universe, the universal energy permeates all things, and it makes plants grow. Right? So I put a plant in the ground, and it gets rained on or watered, and it grows. And that comforts me to know that there's something that I know how it works. There's some laws in the universe, that sort of just always work. And that's comforting because oftentimes in life you feel out of control. But what can I control? I can control where the plants go. I can control what kind of mulch I pick. I can control what kind of cuttings I take. So you can see, and I started putting in this little path here because this was like where the hose bib is for the gardeners and the people who clean the building, and this just kept getting destroyed. So I just had to lean into that and say, let's just start building a little path for them out of stones. You can see these stumps here. They were just sort of hollowed out stumps like this, but I was able to, my mom sent me that plant, put in some other plants, kind of turned the tree itself into a planter instead of just empty stumps. So it's kind of I took the resources that were available in my universe, and I kind of just figured out how to make them work. And with this is pretty easy. Like I said, the plants grow. There's universal laws in place, right, that make sure this stuff happens. I did this little section here. It's having trouble because the dogs step on it and pee on it, and that's actually a problem I'm having across all of it, is that I have to put in some spiky plants to keep the dogs out, because the people won't keep the dogs out. People can suck, or some people are really cool, but other people can suck and they just let their dogs walk all over everything. So you kind of just admit that reality too. Kind of this section is so filled with dog pee, it's hard to find stuff that'll grow in there, but we're getting there. But then look at this section, a little bit tougher to see, but I really went for yellows, trying to get yellows and purples, of course some greens, but really trying to work on the yellows in this section. They grow really slow, and they need lots of sun, but man, when they come in, they're super dope. So yeah, really just kind of built up this section too. There were these and there were these, but it was kind of all dirt. So you can see, put in that joker, cut that from an overgrown plant in the neighborhood. Bam. See over here by the entryway. Oh, it's lovely. Got that from somebody's overgrown yard in the neighborhood. Got most of these from my chiropractor's office and stuff like that. Oh, someone's coming out the driveway. Let's go around here. Hopefully I left this unlocked. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. I've just been sort of tinkering, and I realize I am making progress in life. It's, physically and spiritually. This little section, I got that guy from a yard down the street. All these things are cuttings from other plants. I bought some plants at Home Depot years ago, and they grew up really big. And I used those to start planting around the building. And then I realized, well, anytime I see a cool plant, a succulent, I can just grab some, take a little clipping, it won't hurt the plant, and I can take it and replant it and have it grow. So this side of our building, this was all dirt for years and years. And you know, just one day at a time, one plant at a time. And you guys can like see this kind of change in your life. But now look, it's banging, it's blowing up. Like, look at this freaking guy. Boom, you know? You can see it really does add elements to the side of the building. Like where there was just dirt before. But you know, one plant at a time. And usually I'll do 3 or 4 plants a day. So over the course of like a year, say you only can do it 300 days. If you're doing 3 plants, that's 900 plants. Taking just like a little piece, you know, quick, cutting a little piece off or breaking a little piece off, and then just slowly spreading it around. And like, just sort of, you can see this is my little garden center. They're kind of hidden from the view. That's the elevator over there, so people don't complain because they can't really see this stuff, and because I'm blowing the building up. But here's my nursery. I'm using what's available, abundant sunlight, you know, and letting the universal laws do their thing. But like this planter here was just this tree in it for years, which wasn't doing too well. But I blew it up. You know, you can see down here, all that stuff. I did all that stuff as well. And just, you know, while I'm on the phone, while I'm doing my conference calls and stuff, I'll come out and I'll just break off a piece and plant it somewhere else and just move all this stuff around. And it really has become kind of a super large pack of biomass around the building. Obviously performing its functions. Like, this is universal order, right? This is universal intelligence at work. It's weird, I'm talking so low because I don't want to hear people have me preaching. I'm like afraid. It's very weird. I think maybe that's, I was set out to show like, hey, the universal laws about gardening and why garden, and I think we found something else. Like, I'm embarrassed by my spirituality. Wild. Boom, you can see, but like it really does just brighten up the building.